The first reading this morning is from the Gospel according to Luke, the 17th chapter, verses 11 through 19. Listen for God's word to you. On the journey to Jerusalem, Jesus passed along the borders of Samaria and Galilee. As Jesus was entering a village, 10 people with leprosy met him. Keeping their distance, they raised their voices and said, "Jesus, Rabbi, have pity on us." When Jesus saw them, he responded, "Go and show yourselves to the priests." As they were going, they were healed. One of them, realizing what had happened, came back praising God with a loud voice, then fell down at the feet of Jesus and spoke his praises. This individual was a Samaritan. Jesus replied, "Weren't all 10 made whole? Where are the other 9? Was there no one to return and give thanks except this foreigner?" Then Jesus said to the Samaritan, "Stand up and go your way. Your faith has saved you." God's word for us. As Jesus again is traveling the countryside on his way to Jerusalem, we see a Jesus with an expanded understanding of the work to which God is calling him, a ministry extending beyond the bounds of his Jewish sisters and brothers, a ministry meant for all people. Jesus enters a village, and 10 people suffering with leprosy approach Jesus, seeking to be healed. Jesus, unlike with the Syrophoenician woman we talked about a couple weeks ago, heals them almost immediately with no discussion, no hesitancy, just letting healing power flow through him and from him as he sends them on their way off to the priests. At least one of these people is a Samaritan, someone generally distrusted and hated by the Jewish people. It is this one who, on the way to the priest, realizes the healing has occurred already, and he returns to Jesus, profusely praising God and thanking the healer for this wonderful thing. Perhaps Jesus' worldview expands yet again as he realizes only the Samaritan, the foreigner, has returned in thanksgiving, perhaps not fitting his former stereotype for Samaritans. So my first point is this: Jesus continues to grow into God's calling on his life, and his vision is widened into a more generous, inclusive view of the whole people of God. Now, my second point, or points, have more to do with our morning's theme of Thanksgiving. Martin Bell, in his book, The Way of the Wolf, The Gospel in New Images, speculates about the actions of the 10 persons with leprosy. It's nice, he says, to be able to return to give thanks. The one who comes back, of course, is the one we usually discuss, the one we talk about the most, the one held up to us in Sunday school classes as a child, an example for us to say thank you, especially to God, for how the divine is moving in our lives. But what about the other 9? Why didn't they come to Jesus, thanking him for this great transformation in their lives? It's kind of complex. Or maybe it's rather simple, because we just might recognize these folks, understanding where they're coming from, at least in Martin Bell's ponderings and speculations. Saying thank you, expressing appreciation, letting people know you are grateful for what you have received is truly wonderful. But there may be other ways to demonstrate thanksgiving, a variety of ways to express our thankfulness, many ways also to observe the grateful hearts of others, maybe even persons to whom we've extended a helping hand up. One of the 9 is too frightened to return. Simple as that. She doesn't understand what has just happened to her. It's powerful, so powerful, this Jesus scares her. She goes off to hide, perhaps pondering these things until she finds the words, finds her voice to say what God is doing in her life. Maybe she gives thanks by holding this transformation deep in her heart, allowing the experience really to change her, rather than spouting hollow words of thanks for something she cannot really comprehend. Waiting until she experiences this Jesus more fully, until she has a better grasp on what she has received, until words of thanks are heartfelt, filled with deep meaning.